The Google website tells you if you want to have different style sheets and JavaScript in your code, you can just make these other HTMLs, and then inside of it, you can do these includes, right? So in the page itself, you can include some JavaScript and you can include the style sheet. And I would guess that works fine, and it's interesting that they definitely recommend it. But one of the problems that I have is if I'm working in JavaScript, I might want to run this, but like, make some function or something that I want to run, but it's not runnable because it's an HTML thing. And if you're using their editor, you don't get some of the benefits. So for example, if I do var temp equals array and I wanted to for each it, I can't remember how for each works, right? There's no help. But if you go into here, I don't know, just somewhere, and you do var temp equals 123 dot for each, you can hit tab and it gives you all this information. And so it's a little bit of a pain in the butt to do development in this environment by putting all of your JavaScript here. If you have JavaScript that works great, then fine, you're in business. But I'm constantly developing. So the way that I do it is a little bit different to this, and I just thought I would talk about it here. So in my code, I have a templated file and I have a set of functions and a set of global variables that I'm going to use that I'm actually going to set as a Windows variables. So if you don't like that, you can skip that part. And so what I can do when I have some function that I want to run on the website, I just push it to this funcs array that I start out blank. And so the funcs come in, and then just a little bit of funky work to make this work because over here in the HTML, oh, it looks like I need to rename this to get it to work. Um, Over here in the HTML, I have these 6 or 7 lines of code. So what's happening? So I stringify all the globals, and boom. So now it's been stringified, and now it is um, let's see the globes. It's an object, and then for each one, I go through those and I actually set it to be the window value of that. And so I get them as global variables. You could skip that if that really bothers you, and you could just use globals. You could just do this all the time if you wanted to access those global or those variables. And then with the functions, I stringify the function names. So now I have all the names of the functions. And then I did this crazy thing. I turned them into an array by doing this. It took me a long time to figure this out. And then for each one, I set the Windows function to be that function. And suddenly, bam, all of those functions now just work. So they're testable when I'm developing, and then they work when it runs. I'm obviously using the global namespace here, so that's probably a problem. But what I like about it is I get all of the code editing bells and whistles when I'm editing, and I can choose whether to send a function um, to the website or not. So I think about like local versus server. If I wanted to make a server function, I tend to use the function, cool function, and then I do some shit, right? And so those I don't push, right? I don't send that to the user. The user gets very specific ones, and if I need some server things, then I can do them here. So if I do something like a Google script run, I'll have a local one that'll deal with it, and I've got a server one that can do stuff on the server.